Hello, welcome to episode 2 of EweKnitty podcast. The EweKnitty podcast, I should say.
The EweKnitty
The
podcast.
one and only. My name is Kelly, also known as Raw Kids, and you can find me on Instagram and YouTube as Raw Kids. I'm a knitting designer from the northeast of England, and I mostly do self-publishing, but I do pop up in magazines from time to time. This is Jane.
I'm Jane. I am guilty.
I'm doing this, but you might be this side of me, I don't know.
Me, Jane. I am Jane Burns. I design predominantly for the UK knitting magazines, which is how I know Kelly, because we've worked on the same publications for probably a decade, which is nice.
Yeah.
I, however, specialise in kids' garments. I like to design things that are fun and kooky and that are a lot of fun to knit. You can find me and my patterns, shameless plug, on my website, which is janeburns.co.uk. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook as Jane Burns Designs. The EweKnitty podcast that Kelly and I are spending time and having a few giggles doing. We'll hope you'll enjoy watching as much as we've enjoyed making, despite a few little blips. My fault. See episode 1. And you can find the socials for EweKnitty on Facebook as EweKnitty. I know you probably guessed that. But on Instagram we are EweKnitty Podcast, because somebody else has EweKnitty. But we'll let that go. We will let that go.
What we also forgot to say last episode is that we will be doing a podcast every 2 weeks until anything changes. We will let you know. But yes, every 2 weeks we'll have a little episode up.
Yeah. It's something nice to do because we obviously both work from home, and that can be, that has its highs and its lows. Do you like working from home? It does.
I do like working from home. I mean, yeah, who wouldn't? You get flexibility, can do whatever you want, when you want, sort of, within reason. What I mean is you can plan things around your day a bit easier, can't you?
Yeah.
And obviously there's no travelling to and from work. You've got that out of the equation. I suppose you get a bit more done because you're not travelling about. When you're not commuting, you kind of get a bit more done, I suppose, because you haven't got those time slots in to think about. Also, there's the sitting around in your pyjamas if you want all day. You don't have to get dressed.
The best part. Pyjama days.
You can have pyjama days.
I love a pyjama day.
But there is some downsides to working from home, I think. I think it's kind of, you don't have I don't have set working hours. I don't know about you. I try.
Absolutely
I go, right, I'm only going to work in the school time. That's all I'm going to do. So it's 9, because I get in at like pretty much 9 o'clock from the school run. And then 3 o'clock I need to leave. So 9 till 3, that's my working day. Never, ever happens. Ever. I'm always working till 10 o'clock at night. It's just, there's no cut off, because there's nobody to say, it's time to go home now, Kel. That doesn't happen. So Kel just keeps on working. I think that's my biggest thing. There's also the isolation and the disconnect from people. Yeah. This is why this has been so nice, because we've been able to chat. And I know, I think it's quite hard sometimes creatively when you don't have anybody to bounce off. Yeah. So that's been nice with me and you, where we have been doing that recently. We've been bouncing off each other, and that's been really helpful for me, because sometimes it can just get so overwhelming and there's nobody to alleviate any of the overwhelm. It's all on you. So it's like, and sometimes it's like...
And to share the wins as well. Because sometimes things happen that are so exciting that you want to tell the world about in our knitting lives, and a lot of it you can't, because you're asked to keep it secret, or you make something you're so pleased with, and the rest of the world, yeah, that's really nice. But as a fellow designer, you're like, I know what that took.
Yeah, exactly. I
I
think sometimes it's like my partner is brilliant and he will just sit there and listen to me go, this does this and this and this, and I did this in this sock and I changed it this way. And he'll just sit there going, but he doesn't know what I'm talking about. Whereas sometimes it's nice to just go, I did this, to somebody who gets it. So yeah, that's go on.
I do enjoy working from home. Yeah, the commute from the bedroom across the landing, I can make that without getting lost, which is a godsend because I have no sense of direction. It is shocking, absolutely shocking. So yeah, I don't get lost on the commute, which is great. And I am a total night owl. Like you, I will be happily working 11, 12. But then I'm not a morning person. So that affords me not having to be productive or be somewhere in the morning.
See, I am a night owl, 100%. I'm so much more awake at night, but I have to be up in the morning to get the kids to school. So I'm kind of forced into a routine that my body isn't actually happy with. Like I am up at 7 o'clock and I have to go to bed at 10:30. And at 10:30, I'm like, I don't want to go to bed. I want to stay up.
Knit.
Yes. And I really do have to force myself to go because my body's like, no, we're awake now. This is the time to get everything done. So I think if I didn't have the kids, I'd be up till 3, 4 every morning. Yeah. Easy. I'm such a night owl. Yeah. And I know that's the opposite unusual. With some people.
Yeah, no, it's not unusual for me to still be awake at 6, 7 in the morning. I don't sleep particularly well. Yeah, so I try to avoid booking anything in the morning.
Early,
so committing to anything in the morning because I don't know how it's going to go. So that is a definite plus side to working from home. In that it does, if it's been a bad night, if it's a bad day, then it's just me and I can keep myself to myself and get things done. I'm lucky that my husband also works from home. So we're both home all the time. So I've got someone to have coffee breaks with. I've got someone to have lunch with.
That's the same as me.
So yeah, I'm not on my own.
Yeah, exactly. See, my partner is home because he has mental health issues. So he's home and he comes down at like lunchtime and he'll sit for half an hour with me, kind of to make me have lunch. I think that's why he does it, because otherwise I'd just be like, I'm knitting, I'm powering through. So he kind of comes down and goes, right, we're having a cup of tea now. So he keeps me in check.
Doug will appear and say, do you need caffeine? Which is cue for, can I drive you to Starbucks before you completely have a meltdown?
Oh, they're definitely good to rant. They're definitely good to rant at, aren't they? Oh,
yeah, and he appreciates as well the working from home and the it's that balance, isn't it, between we do a job we love, and we're really lucky in that the job we do is creative and it's fulfilling, but it's knowing when to stop and not powering through to the point of burnout, because I think we've both been there and done that.
Oh, I've done that so many times. Yeah. I think the difficulty though is that sometimes you'll get the submission calls in and you're like, this tends to happen to me a lot. I'll apply and I'll like give them like a few options. I don't expect them to take everything. I just give them a few options, but then they'll go, oh, we'll have all of them. And I've done that 3 times and everyone's done the same. And then I'm like, oh, I've got too much on then. And then it's panic stations and major overwhelm. And that
deadlines.
I'm very bad for saying no. I'm really bad for saying no. And when the deadlines start looming, I start getting really like grinding my teeth and I get really stressed. So
Because
yeah.
knitting is such a relaxing pastime. So the word deadline is put into it.
Yes.
Oh,
And then the
the
sparks coming off the
pain.
needles and lots of tears. Damp knitting with sparks.
Why did I do this? Why do I do
Yeah.
this to myself? Why do I
Oh.
not learn?
Oh, honestly. Yeah, definitely.
But then we're both very fortunate as well because we both have our pets at home. So the scritches and the belly rubs, and I spend a lot of time talking to Bertie, my dog. An
Yes.
unhealthy amount of time is spent chatting to him, and you know Bertie, he constantly looks very grumpy. So it always feels like a negative response I get from him, but it doesn't stop me. I just continue to
Oh,
vent.
bless him.
Head turns. Where's my treat?
Where's
say?
my treat?
Did you say treat? You didn't say bath, did you? You definitely didn't say bath.
Or vets. Didn't say vets.
Vets. Ooh.
Mine's usually snoring in the background. Anything I record is she's snoring in the background usually. She's actually not today for a change.
And say I've not heard her today.
No, she's actually, yeah. But she's normally really loud. Like man snores. Drunk man snores. That's what they are.
Obviously, I've never heard those. Doug, if you're watching this, you definitely don't do that.
Terry knows he does. Gets an elbow in the side. Turn over.
Violence is never the answer, Kelly. Putting it out there.
Oh dear.
But no, this podcast really has been a gift, getting to chat with you and plan this and talk about designer life, because it is a great job.
It is a great job.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, that was me. Yeah, I do love my job, but you know, as in all things in life, sometimes it's stressful.
Yeah. I can't imagine doing anything else. But yes, sometimes I'm literally ripping my hair out and thinking, why have I done this? What am I doing? Definitely.
And then you remember.
It's like everything. Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's like everything. It has its ups and downs. And when it's really down and you're like, oh God, I can't do this. I can't do it. But then you do it. And then it's like that high of like, oh my God, I did it. So yeah. And I tend to get that a lot because I tend to go, oh, I can't do it. I tend to go into that little brain passage of, no, can't do this one. This one's too hard. But I always end up figuring it out and getting out of it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I may have said that to you.
Yes.
You get there. You get there.
Yes, you do.
You know you'll get
You
there.
say that to me a lot. You can do it, Kelly.
Go, Kelly.
I do tend to text Jane a lot going, I can't do it, Jane.
And I know she'll do it. I know, because she always pulls it out of the bag. But it is nice to have those chats where, have you thought about?
Yes, definitely.
Just to someone else to say, well, maybe if you stop designing toe-up socks, that might be a start.
Jane doesn't like toe-up socks.
Jane does not like toe-up socks.
Oh.
Don't ask me anything when not toe-up socks.
I know, yeah. Oh.
But hey, PJ days. And being able to get your laundry out, and more importantly in the UK, get your laundry in when it starts raining.
Yes, exactly. Oh yes, there is some bonuses, isn't there? There's a lot. There's a lot of good.
So all this talk of work, you've got a holiday coming up, haven't you?
I do. I'm off to sunny Spain. Apparently it's very sunny Spain at the minute as well.
Are you back to knitting?
No. What? I'm not taking any knitting.
No.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're definitely going to have to find that sound effect to go in here. What do you mean you're not taking any knitting? Oh,
Because
you
I
made me
think the
cry.
last few months, I've knitted and knitted and knitted, and I've been really backed up with deadlines and things, and it has been quite stressful, as you well know. I was crying to you only the other week. So because knitting is also my job, it is my hobby, but because it's also my job, I just want to have a break when I can. And I'm only going for a week. So I just thought, you know what? I'm not even going to, because I know there's the whole taking your needles on the plane and which needles to take and are they going to confiscate them and blah, blah. And I'm like, do you know what? I just don't need the stress and bother. If they take my chiagoos, I'll be crying. So I'm not even going to risk it. So yeah, I'm just not going to do it.
I think that
But
is really cool. Yeah, I do. It's like, how could you not take your knitting? But yeah, just to have the forethought that I need that break is.
I think every now and again, I think everybody gets this though. Every now and again, you kind of get a bit of burnout with your knitting, even if it's just your hobby. You get, because you're constantly like, what am I going to make next? What am I going to make next? And it's all the time. So I think just giving a week off when I come back, I'll be like, oh, what can I knit? And I'll be really excited then.
Yeah.
Whereas at the minute, I'm just like, need to cast on something new. I'm getting a bit stale. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting castonitis. So I'm going to give myself a week off. What about you? Do you knit out and about? I've got a fly in my head.
I do. Yeah, there is always something with me when I'm out and about.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, why do I do that? I think it's because I'm a very impatient person. So if I am giving this a lot of thought, so if I am in a waiting room and I'm waiting, I've got to pass the time. I've got to keep my hands busy. If I am sat in traffic, obviously not driving, I've got to pass the time. Just sitting and doing nothing or waiting just doesn't come easy to me. So I need that distraction. So there's always a sock and a project bag in the car.
See, I'm the only driver in my house.
Okay.
So I don't get to... Will you get off my head?
I don't get to knit in the car. Me.
No, it's a fly. Can you see? The fly keeps landing on me, and I'm not impressed. Do you know what? I know this is a change in the subject, but I've been watching Love Island. I love Love Island. And one of the lads on Love Island a couple of weeks ago said if there was a fly buzzing around, it kept landing on his head, and he said, "You have the whole world." It really made me laugh. And that's what it's like. You've got the whole world. Stop landing on my head.
I too am addicted to Love Island.
Oh, I do love Love Island.
All the years that it's been on, I have said, "Oh, really? What is that about?"
Oh, really? Is this your first one?
Yeah. And then my daughter Katie said, "Watch it with me, Mum. Go on, watch it with me."
I love it.
And she put it on, and within watching 2 episodes, I was just totally hooked.
Oh, I love it so much. I've watched it since season 4. I absolutely love it. It's just so addictive. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to do your knitting too.
I think by the time this episode goes out, unfortunately, it will be...
It's probably finished, yeah.
So your predictions for the winners are?
Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? This season has been really difficult for that because there's not really any properly settled couples other than Molly and Zach, and I'm not too fussed on Molly and Zach.
That went a bit toes up for the one I watched last night, so now you know when we're recording this, people.
Okay. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of partially rooting for Ty and Ella, but because they've been on such a, like, he's really grown as a person. At the beginning, I was like, oh my God, just get rid of him. But now I'm like, do you know what? He's really, really grown. So I'm kind of maybe them too. It's been a difficult one. Usually I'm rooting for someone almost from the beginning. And I absolutely love Jess. I really love Jess, but I don't like Sammy. And I really wanted to
Agreed.
get rid of him.
Yeah.
I'm just like, he's not good for you. Get rid of him.
Jess and Whitney.
I love Whitney.
All the way through. Oh,
Do you know, I didn't like Whitney at the beginning, but she's really grown on me. I love her now. I thought she was a bit
they're
big-headed.
both great
She was all
girls.
very like, I am such a catch. She was like, I was like, oh. But now I really like her. But yeah.
That's taken over a large portion of my summer. Yeah. And Katie's like, I can't
does.
believe you're so obsessed. And I'm like, you made me watch it. I have
I love it.
addictive personality. What did you think was going to happen?
I know.
It's drama.
It's like when Love Island is on, I don't get a lot of time to watch TV. By the time I've put my youngest to bed, I get downstairs and like I say, I have to go to bed at 10:30. So I don't get much time. I get maybe an hour, so it's Love Island and that's it. So I'll watch Love Island and then I'll go to bed. So I don't watch anything else. It's just Love Island. So it kind of consumes my life. I'm like, oh, Love Island on Love Island.
I may have found the podcast as well. When I told Katie that, she looked at me with disappointment. I thought she's going to be so impressed. This thing that she's got me into and we talk about, my 19-year-old daughter, and she just looked at me with them. And you know, she looked me up and down because I was wearing my pyjamas at the time. And she just went, what have you become? And she walked off.
Charming.
Oh,
She
she's
started
savage.
it.
I don't know where she gets it from. I really don't know where she gets it from. Don't answer that or we'll fall out.
Oh dear.
Do you think this is
We
a good
completely
time?
went off topic.
I know, but talking about Love Island, do you think it's a good
Oh,
time
yes.
to start talking about squishy balls?
Squishy balls. Definitely.
Squishy balls, keeping it PG, people, is where we talk about the commercial yarns that we're reviewing. Keeping it all nice and accessible to most of you knitters. You should be able to get your hands on these. What have we got this week, Kelly?
So first up, we have Grace, your nemesis.
Spoilers. Spoilers. It's my nemesis.
So Grace is a new yarn by Stylecraft, and it is a new yarn, isn't it? I'm not making that up. It is 85% premium acrylic, 10% mohair, and 5% wool. So it's got that. Can you see its little? I think you'd be able to see it better.
It's got quite a halo, hasn't it?
It's little halo, fuzzy little halo. Yes. And I got it in the petal colourway, Petals, which is 2150 and is absolutely beautiful, like pastel-y pink. It's a little bit pinker than it's showing on the screen. It's looking a little bit more pale there. It is a bit pinker than that. Yes, and I do like it. So basically, Jane, you tried to knit with this, didn't you?
I did.
And Jane is.
I'm sensitive.
What should we say? Slightly averse to mohair.
I'm a sensitive soul. Is what I am.
Soul.
Yeah.
Yes. So she couldn't do a lot with it. What did you do? A crochet square? Is that what you did?
I did crochet in this shade which is called Whiskey. And the number for Whiskey is 2159 if you're looking for it. It's a beautiful colour. It really is. And
it's like rust, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't have a really high mohair content. So I thought, okay, let's try a little bit of crochet, see how we get on. And it was quite nice to crochet with. It didn't squeak. It wasn't particularly grippy, so I could get the hook in nice and easily. Mm-hmm. And I do like the fabric that it made, but I just started to itch and sneeze. And actually, I'm going to put that down now because it's not going to get attractive. No. So I said to Kelly that I'm not going to be able to knit a swatch for this one. So, Kelly's rescue.
Sort of, but what happened was the first night I tried it, I did a stock and stitch swatch. So it started with garter.
Such a pretty colour.
It is a pretty colour, it's lovely. I did the stock and stitch and I did a bit of rib at the top. But on that night after I'd finished that, I got really bad itchy eyes and was sneezing.
Oh,
But I am heading into my perimenopause part of life. And I tend to get allergies just out of the blue for nothing. I have to take like a Piriton antihistamine thing. Just so I was like, is that the mohair or is it just because it's
yeah.
me? So the next day I tried with a lace swatch and this didn't affect me. So I don't think it was the mohair. I think it was just me. But
That's
it's that way.
pretty.
So I did a lace swatch with it. This has been blocked. It is pretty. It's kind of soft, but it's also almost rusticy. It's like slightly rough. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
The halo is
think
soft, isn't it?
Yeah, but the yarn inside is like a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to wear it against my skin. I can feel it prickling straight away. So I don't know if I could put up with it as like a jumper or something. It's really pretty, but as pretty as it is, I don't think I would want to knit a jumper in it. I think I'd be like, but other than that, I mean, it's nice and drapey. I don't know. It's not splitty, like you say, and it's not difficult to knit with. I think sometimes when you get mohair, or it's hard to get the needle through because it all catches and you're like pulling bits.
Yep.
You don't get any of that with it. It's quite easy to knit with.
I think you've got to love mohair to work with this.
Yeah, I do too. Even though it's only, what did I say, 10%? Yeah, it's only 10%. But yeah, it was getting up my nose. I was like this with it, so it's not my favourite. It's beautiful. So if you like mohair,
Stylecraft.
I would recommend. Yeah. I think it's got its place for the people who like mohair, but I'm not one of those people, unfortunately. But yeah, it's very, very pretty. How many colours does it come in?
Excuse me, I've been near the mohair.
I know.
12 dual tone shades.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a really nice turquoisey blue that I had my eye on. Yes, it is really pretty, but I think you do need to like mohair or like fluff up your nose. if you're that way inclined,
We are not going
you.
there. We are not going there. But how about we head on to something that I really loved?
Okay.
I really, really loved the Stylecraft again. Batik Swirl.
Batik Swirl, yes.
The Batik Swirl.
So what colour is that one?
Let's give you some facts and figures on this one, shall I? Well, that was Tropical Flowers.
Oh.
3780 if you're looking to buy some. There's 11 other shades of that. I believe it's the same composition as Stylecraft's Batik DK. So if you're looking for a solid to go with it, so if you want to do a garment, have a solid edge or a motif or something, you could very easily pair those up together and that would make something really quite stunning. I think there's something like 18 shades of the Batik yarn in the 50 gram balls.
Wow.
So you've got a lot of colours that you could potentially...
So is this 50 grams what we've got?
No, this is 200 grams.
Is it? I was going to say.
550 metres. How's that off the top of my head?
So
ask me where I live.
I got it in. I got it in the is it lily? Yeah, lily pond colourway.
That's pretty.
So it is pretty. And I don't know. Do you get the same pattern? You get a free pattern with it. I got a Dicky pattern.
You couldn't help yourself, could you? Yes, I did get. Did
you get a Dicky too?
I'm very sorry. Is that a Dicky 2 or a Dickle 2? In the squishy balls section. You are going to get us cancelled.
Apparently they're all the rage now, getting a Dicky though. Is that what you got on yours? Just answer my question, Jim.
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. There appears to be a pattern for a Dicky or two on the inside of each ball band. It's not getting any better.
It's their fault. Stylecraft's fault. It's not our fault. They put the Dicky on there.
Tell us, Stylecraft, did you have a lot of fun when you were thinking about what you were doing? But I
Oh,
really
dear
enjoyed
me.
working with this.
I did as well. Yeah, it's nice. I like that. Mine is funny because it starts with the green. So I
Well,
started with a garter stitch, and it was a lot like a good chunk of green before it went into the pink. But then I think I went to lace next, I think. But then it just stays pink for a while because then I did a cable one as well.
yeah.
So it's kind of like the green is only every now and again. It's really, like you can see on the
Oh,
ball, it
yes.
only pops in. It's
Yeah,
mostly pink and purple. So yeah, so that was quite nice.
that
And
is really
it
pretty.
changes, yeah, it changes colour in like, I think if that was a top, you would have big, thick chunks of the pink and then the purple. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't just, like when we were talking about impressions last week, and I was saying like you'd only get 2 rows per colour,
Yes.
but this you would have good solid blocks, I think. Phone's gonna go.
Well, I picked it up and I thought crochet instantly. It just said to
Yeah.
me, ta-da, granny square.
Ah, look at that.
Absolutely granny square. I've got some pictures. I will pop those in. But the way that it changed colour just kept it interesting, and I just wanted
Yeah.
to keep going and going. And
Yeah.
it is just really pretty.
It is
Um,
really
and
pretty.
then once I got started, I thought more crochet. So I went corner to corner because I think that's always a really good way
Ah.
to see how yarn is going to behave. And
Yours is
again,
like beachy colours, isn't it?
I was not disappointed. So highly recommend. We'll be working with it again. Kids
Did we say what the
garments,
content
definitely.
is?
It is
So it's
80% acrylic, 20% wool.
yeah.
It is nice and soft.
Yeah, it is. It's quite it's not too bad on the drape. I've had drapier,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, it's getting
it's nice and
there.
plump. It's a nice plump
Yeah.
yarn. It's nice and
Yeah.
soft. Yeah, I can't fault it. I absolutely can't fault it, particularly with the batik shades. I can't call them solid because they're still that tonal, slightly mottled that will go so nicely with it. I've got a
Yeah.
lot of ideas floating around in my head for that one. It's nice to be
Yeah.
able
It's good.
to wrap our podcast up on a yay win yarn.
Yeah, exactly. Ah.
So what have we got running on the socials?
Um Basically, just to share your knitting outside malarkeys. We would like to see some of you knitting outside, please.
Where's the most adventurous place that you have been knitting in public?
Yes. Yes, that's what
That
we would
that I
like
would
to
like to
see.
know. And I'd like to know if I'm the only person who gets their knitting out on a train to make sure nobody sits next to them. Because something about sitting there with my needles, nobody sits there unless they can avoid it.
Really?
Yep. And I wonder if it's just
Ah.
me giving off like vibes, or if it generally does act as a deterrent on public transport.
See,
I
I
mean,
do not knit in public at all. Apart from if I'm out with my friend who's also knitting. If we go to the cafes, then we'll sit and knit.
yeah.
That's the only time. I don't knit in waiting rooms or anything. It kind of makes me a bit paranoid to whip my knitting out. I
Oh,
don't
that's a
know.
shame.
So I just don't ever.
Oh, we
But
can
I've
get
always
lots
said
of
I should
people.
try.
People come up and tell you how their nan used to do that. That's
I know, this is what I mean. I
yeah,
remember my
that's always
friend in the
lovely.
cafe once, she'd gone for a drink and I was sitting knitting, and the lady who was sitting next to us, it was like she waited for my friend to leave and then she went, so what you knitting? What you doing? My nan used to do that. And I was just like, oh God. Yeah, it's funny.
So we
But
want
yeah,
your stories.
I never do it. So yes, tell me, give me some courage to get me knitting out in public.
Absolutely. So knitting in public
Oh,
stories. We're still looking
yes.
for pictures of your fluffy companions.
Yes, and any
Yeah.
yarn shenanigans. Yes,
Up on the
yarn
socials
tales.
to win a pattern at the end of the month. That would be really
Yes.
cool. And what are you working on, Kelly? Got anything to share before we head off?
No, not really. I've got things that I can't share. And
Same
then I've
here.
got these might be out by the time you see this though, but this is my hang on. I never remember how to pronounce this. Athenaeum socks, which is a posh name for a library. They're supposed to look like books on a shelf.
And they do. They are
So
beautiful.
these are coming out. These are coming out very soon. They might already be out when you see this. If they are, we'll pop the link below. But yeah, that's all I'm really working on. And secret things. What about you?
Secret
Secret
things.
things.
Yeah,
It's
nothing
hard
that I
when
can
it's
share
all
today.
secret. Yeah.
What's the yarn, Kelly?
Oh, it is. This is a indie dyer yarn. It's Nervous Fibre, and it's the deep wood colourway.
It is
So
stunning.
we'll link her below as well. It's such a beautiful colour.
Yeah.
It is really pretty.
So I thought I'm going to ask you because it's not only going to be me that goes, I really like that yarn. That's such a me colour.
Yeah, I know. It's so pretty. So yeah, Nervous Fibre. We'll pop the link below, and then to her shop as well. Yeah, she's based in Scotland.
One of my favourite places to be. It's nice and
like
cool
the
up there,
locals.
generally speaking. So my next trip up there, I will come past and I will give you a wave.
Yeah, she drove past me. Hi.
Well, I think that just about wraps it up for this episode. Do you?
It does. Yes.
So if all you lovely people have enjoyed our ramblings and giggles and
Yeah, give us the old thumbs up. Drop us some comments. And then if you want to come back and see us again, click the subscribe button. You know the drill. You're on YouTube. Point nothing. They're down there.
it's one of them.
They're down.
It's one of them. Down there.
They're below us. Oh, thank you for watching and hope to see you again in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
In
we'll be
2
back
weeks' time. See you
with
then.
another episode.
Bye.
Bye.